Hi everyone, Rene Bastarache here with the American School of Hypnosis. And in today's video, I am going to speak to you about 3 easy methods you can use to write your very first book. Now, why would you want to write a book? Simple. People that have written books, authors, are looked upon as in the top 10% of society. Why would that matter to you? Well, you want to be self-employed. You're a hypnotherapist. You specialize in another field. You're a Reiki specialist. You do acupuncture. Whatever it is you might do, if you write the book, you're ahead of your competition, or if you write a book. After all, who would you like to see if you had a problem? Let's say you needed brain surgery. Would you rather go see someone who knows a lot about it, or the surgeon who wrote the book? Okay? Does that make sense? When somebody has written a book, they're looked upon as the authority. So by writing a book, it puts you ahead of your competition. You've written a book. You know a little bit about what you're talking about. And what can you do with that book? You can sell it. You can put it online. We have many of our books in our own bookstore, selling download PDFs. We have them on Amazon. We have them in Lulu. We have them in Barnes and Noble. We have books all over, which gives you a passive income constantly coming in. But if you don't want to get into that, just write a book and put it online for free. Matter of fact, we have a free book right now at our What's New page, and I'll tell you about it during this process because that's one of the books I want to speak to you about. So write a book and give it away for free to people, and all you do is ask for their email. So put in your name and your email and get this free book now. And what does that do? It gives you a marketing base. It gets you people to speak to about your products, about your services. So writing a book puts you in the top 10%. It makes you the authority. It makes you money, okay? And it gives you, if you want, a giveaway for marketing. Now, I've been doing this for about 15, 20 years. So far, I lost count at 65, but I've written over 65 books. And my very first book that I've ever written, not published, was our Clinical Hypnosis Manual. It's a 446-page book. Okay. Now, when we actually wrote this, I wrote this about, I'd say close to 20 years ago. When I wrote it, we wanted to get it published by an outside publisher, and that can be a little more difficult. So we sent out we sent out, back then, not emails, regular mail, snail mails, to literally hundreds of publishers. And we emailed a lot of them too. And Raluca spent countless days just calling and getting turned down. No one wanted to publish it because it was a specialty book, hypnosis. Not everyone wants to learn about hypnosis. So in the process of her calling everyone, one publisher out of Massachusetts, who will remain nameless right now, but you'll find them if you look in the back of this book, says, we'll talk to you about your project later, but since you do hypnosis, would you write this book for us? So this is the very first book that I actually wrote and got published, which is the Everything Self-Hypnosis book. You've probably seen this on the book stands before. The Everything Company, they have everything book binding, everything quilting, everything fishing, any topic. The Everything Company has a book on it. Okay, so they had a couple authors that weren't able to finish it, and they needed to get the project going, so they said, we'd like you to write this book. And it was a great experience because they taught me everything about writing books. They gave me a deadline. I had to have 1/4 of the book done within a month, and then the next month. And so I had a deadline to get it finished. So it was kind of grueling, but I learned an awful lot about books. So that got me started. It got the fever. And I've written a lot of books since then. Matter of fact, we even have an online course about how to write books that teaches over 20 methods, but we're going to go through 3 of them. The first one, I'm looking at my notes over here, talk about books, right? You have to have notes. Okay, the first ones I'm going to talk about is They're actually pocket books. Okay, what are pocket books? Pocket books are little books, kind of like this one you can consider a pocket book, okay? And let's see, I have a couple more here. I'm moving my notes so I can actually see myself. This is a pocket book. This is a pocket book, okay? How to make $100,000 a year. You've probably seen this one as a hypnosis practitioner. 5 different ways to earn a 6-figure income. And this is a pocket book. Now, notice this one even looks like a pocket, doesn't it? It's a blue jeans pocket. So I made a pocketbook that looks like a pocket. Now, the thing about a pocketbook is they're small books. They're easy books, especially if you're going to be using them as giveaways. Matter of fact, this one here, How to Double Your Sales by Doing Less, right now at this moment is being given away free. You can download it free at our What's New page. I'll have a link below this video for that too, so you can go directly to it. Our What's New page is just one of our web pages where anytime we have giveaways, anytime we want to announce things, new programs like our classes coming up, anything that's going on new in the school, we put on the What's New page so you can see what's going on. We like to give away things once in a while. But these are pocket books. Now, how do you write a pocket book? You can write it on virtually anything you can think of. So what topic do you want to write on? Okay, if you're a hypnotist, do you specialize in smoking? Write a pocket book on smoking. If you specialize in Reiki, if you specialize in whatever it might be. I'm trying to think of all the different modalities, acupuncture, acupressure, NLP. You don't have to write all about NLP, just a few things that you want to talk about. I think they say if you can talk for about half an hour, that roughly equates to about 30 to 40 pages, especially when it's small pages like in these books here. It could even be up to 50 pages. Matter of fact, this book here is 55 pages, so they don't have to be long. This one's 55, this one's 100 pages, okay? It's just talking about what you're doing. It's a specialty thing. So what you do is you get yourself a digital recorder, or you could even do it on your computer if you want. I like to use a digital recorder, and I'll tell you why in a minute. And you just sit there and talk into your digital recorder and say everything you know about the topic. So just start talking about what it is you want to speak about. Imagine yourself having a conversation with someone. And as you're having the conversation, you're teaching them what it is you know. Matter of fact, that's another way you can do it. You can get on the telephone and speak to somebody. Teach them the idea. Talk to them about why smoking hypnosis is so great, why it's the most successful process out there to quit smoking. Unfortunately, it's the last thing people do. They try to patch in the gums and everything first, and they come see you for smoking as their last resort because they're a little scared of hypnosis, but it's very effective. So as you're talking about this on the tape recorder, now all you have to do is put that into print. So you can listen to it and type it, or do like I do. I have a program right on this computer called Dragon Naturally Speaking. Okay, it's a voice dictation type program where you talk, it's talk to type, and it types it out for you. Matter of fact, I'd say probably 80% of my books were I just talked to the computer and it typed it out for me. But with Dragon Speaking, you can also talk on a digital recorder, plug it into the USB, and there's settings where you can click on your Dragon Speaking or whatever program you're using for voice dictation. It'll take it off your little digital recorder and print it. Then all you just have to do is format it and edit it and all that kind of thing. You're going to get used to speaking the way Dragon Speaking works, because as you're going, you have to say period, comma, new paragraph, and you'll start to talk that way after a while. It's kind of funny because sometimes I'll look at Raluca and say, "Hi, Raluca, comma, how are you today?" Question mark. She'll say, "Well, stop it. You're not talking to the computer." So that's one way to do it. Just talk about whatever it is you want to speak about. And that's what I did here. All the different ways. I was talking as if I was talking on the phone. Here's the 5 different ways you can make money. 6-figure income with hypnosis. How to double your sales. Okay, my background before I was in hypnosis is I was in marketing and sales. I was actually a manager for a large company. I managed over 115 salesmen doing demonstrators. So I learned a lot about sales, and I put a lot of the things in here, how you can use it with hypnosis. So there's a lot of different ways of doing that. Now, you don't have to make it a mini book. If you don't want a mini book, let's say you have something that you do is more visual. Okay, also before, you're going to learn a lot about me here, before I became, in hypnosis and became an author, I was a magician for 17 years. That's right, I was a comedy magician for a local theme park up here. And I actually took some of my best tricks and wrote a book called The Complete Show Magic Book. Okay, and in it is a bunch of different kind of magic tricks and stuff, and showing up some of my favorite magic tricks. And it's a big book because I had a lot of pictures to show how to do things. So, and it's kind of fun. It's also a keepsake. Since I'm not doing magic anymore, I could look back through it and it brings back fond memories, okay? And you can see there's that handsome, oops, covering on my fingers. There's that handsome fellow right over there. So, you can make it a big book. You can make it a small book. Now, this book is only 43 pages, so it doesn't have to be a really big book, as you see. Now, next, okay, so that's basically talking on a tape player, the way to do it. Oh, by the way, if you don't have anything that you want to speak about, if you're not sure what you want to speak about for your book, you can do it with someone else. Who do you know that's knowledgeable in a topic? Get on the phone and speak to them half an hour, and ask them everything you want to ask them about the book that you want to write. So let's say you have someone who is really knowledgeable in forensic hypnosis. Okay, he's an expert and you want to write a book on forensic hypnosis. Let them know that you're doing that because you need their permission, okay? But speak to them. Say, teach me about forensic hypnosis, okay? Tell me all about whatever the topic is and record it. And then you can go ahead and record it and put it on print and publish it and get their permission and maybe put their name and their picture in there if they're an authority as a co-author, and you'll both get the recognition of being an author. So that's another way you can do it. So I was only going to be talking about one different method. There's a second one for that, talking on tape. Okay. Now the next one is the 1 page per topic method. So what's the topic you want to write on? Okay, I've done a couple of them that way. Okay, how to triple your clients in 30 days and building a top-ranked website in 60 days. Okay, I thought about all the different topics that I would have to put in there. And I made a big list on a piece of paper of every topic I could think of. And then you just take each topic and write 1 page about that topic information. Now, if you don't know a page, it's pretty much write a few chapters, whatever, because some of them actually 2 or 3 pages, but most of them are a page or less. And even if they're a little less, the next topic's going to go on the next page. So if you have 50 topics, you're going to have at least 50 pages. So what do you know? In my case, what do I know about getting more clients? Well, I know an awful lot about getting clients because of my background. So it was a nice book. What do you know about building a top-ranked website? I've built over 1,000 websites. Matter of fact, all the websites that you see on our page, on our American School of Hypnosis and Choose Hypnosis, and we have about 6 different domains, we've created them ourselves. So topic, and just talk about it. So you can get quite a bit of information. Again, it doesn't have to be a big book, but it's better to have content than fluff. People want information. They don't want you to go on and on and on. Tell them about your puppy and your cat and what kind of things they eat. If the book's on, marketing, talk about marketing. Give them content. And by the way, always over-deliver. Whatever you say you're going to do more. Okay, it really works out better for the client and for you. So you just take all the topics you could think about and write about each one. All right, now for the next one, for the last method. Okay, we called it the chapter method. Okay, now when I say the chapter method, you've probably seen this book before, the Self-Help Hypnosis Manual. This one here, it's a little bit bigger book. It's like 400 pages. Okay, then we have our that was written with the chapter method, and as well as our clinical hypnosis manual. This is the book that we actually teach the class with, our hypnosis certification course. And by the way, if you go to my webpage, you can also download a copy of this book free. So there's 2 books we're giving to you free, and you'll know how we made them, okay? And yeah, if you go to American School of Hypnosis, you'll see free gift and just download it. So our clinical hypnosis manual and my self-help hypnosis manual, all written the same way. What I did was, I did what they call a mind map. Okay, or you can call it a brain dump. Everything you can think about a topic, you just talk about it. And what I do is I write it all down. Now let me show you what a mind map is. Matter of fact, I'm in the process of making one right now for a course that we're creating, a self-help course. And this is the mind map. You start out with the title, The Ultimate Self-Help Program. And then you go number 1, introduction, and down here, everything you could think about. And then number 2, guided imagery, self-hypnosis, 5-step formula, emotions, supercharging. Number 3, law of attraction, laser focus. And it goes on and on. Number 4, number 5, number 6, everything you could think about. I have it as different chapters and sub-chapters, and what do I want to talk about? I mean, it just goes on and on and on. Then all I do is, once I have everything on that board, I break it down and I use my dragon speaking. I read everything that's on the board and I put it on the computer on a program, so I can, like a word program, and then I organize it, okay? When I said number 1, number 2, number 3, those are the different chapters and sub-chapters and all the titles that I want to speak about. Now, the great thing about this, when you do a mind map, when you just keep on writing, you can fit things in, because that's how your mind works. Your mind doesn't work linear. It's all over the place. So get a big piece of paper and write down everything you can think of. If you want to know more about doing a mind map, just punch in mind mapping or mind map on Google, and you'll see hundreds of videos and pages teaching all about, how to do that. So we're not going to do that here. But it's a good way to get a brain dump, to get everything you know about a topic on paper or on a whiteboard. I do whiteboards like this. I have them all over the place. But I do this when I write a book, when I create a script, a hypnosis script, when I create a course. I like to use mind maps if it's going to be a deep book with a lot of information. Okay, like one of these guys, okay? And once you get the information, then you just fill it in. Matter of fact, when I wrote this one here, okay, I was actually living up here in Maine, and I was going to a show. I was going to do a comedy hypnosis show in Ohio. And the way I wrote this book is on the way, because it was quite a ride from here to there. On the way, I had my outline that I had, put on the document. So I printed my outline, and I brought my digital recorder. And what I would do is I would look at my outline and see what the topic was, and I would just talk to my digital recorder. So let's say hypnosis suggestibility, and I talk about suggestibility, and hypnosis scripts, and I'd look at the next one, scripts, and I'd write about that. I talk about that, and I talk about. So by the time I left Maine, went all the way to Ohio, I had quite a bit of it done. I did my show, and I came back the next day, because it's a long ride. You could listen to radio or do something, right? And you can talk and drive at the same time. Just be careful if you're reading an outline. That's why I made it just a brief outline. By the time I got back, I had the majority of the manual already on tape. Then when I get back, I just plugged it in, and the computer printed it all out for me. Now, keep in mind, if you're using a dictation program like that, it has Dragon Speaking has about a 98% accuracy. So you want to make sure that the words are correct. Okay, I'm laughing because when I first wrote this book, I was talking about hypnosis depth test, DEPTH, how deep you are in hypnosis at different levels. And because of my accent, I do have a little French accent, okay? And because of my accent, sometimes the Dragon Speaking doesn't pick up the word properly. And every time I said the word depth test, it wrote death, DEATH, death test. And I didn't realize that. And when you edit your own books, that's why they say you shouldn't do that. You skip over a lot of things because you know what it says. So the mind will kind of say, if the letters are similar, it'll read right through it and you won't pick up the mistakes sometimes. About a year later, after this thing was published and out, one of my students wrote to me and he says, or actually he called me, he says, "What's a death test?" I said, "I have no idea. What do you mean death test?" He goes, "It's like 5 places in your manual you have death test." I guess it's a test to see if you're alive, blow in a mirror. I don't know. So I said, oh no, that's supposed to be depth test. And I corrected it, and then, version 2 of the book came out. Okay. So you want to be careful. Like the word hand and the word and are very similar. So you might say, I want to do this, hand that. So if you put a lot of H in your voice, it's going to pick it up. It's funny because you'll try to correct it, hand, and finally just type it in, okay? So dragon speaking is very accurate, but it can make mistakes that make a big difference, because a death test and a depth test are not the same. So the last one, the mind map or the brain dump, okay? Organize it so it makes sense. Fill it in, after you organize it. And, I don't suggest that you do it while driving. Just sit there and do it. You can even brainstorm with several people and do it. So those are the 3 methods that we have. Talk on a tape player and do your little mini book. And by the way, you can get this free, so go to the link below the page. Okay, or you can even have somebody else do that by recording them on the phone. Give them credit if you can. They did the work, okay? And the 1 page per topic method, like how to build a web page or whatever it is. We're having people do things. If you could do 1 page per method, just come up with the topics. It doesn't have to be big, okay? It could be 30 pages is okay, especially if you're doing it as a giveaway. And the 3rd one is the chapter method, using a mind map or a brain dump. So I hope this helped you. And if you need more information, okay, we do have a how to write a book course, okay, and it's everything about writing courses, writing books, talking about what goes in the front matter, the back matter, all the different things that go into it. Talks about publishing them, where to publish them. We even have a method of how to find out if a book is going to sell before you do it. In fact, I want to show you something here. This is one of the books that I did. I should have showed you this right at the beginning, right? And if I could figure out how to get to my video, I'm just going to share a screen here. There we go. This is a book that I wrote quite a while ago. Matter of fact, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Here we go. How to write, publish, and sell a book in 1 day. 6 easy ways to write an imprint or ebook. Okay, so this is a book that I actually wrote. So how to publish online and how to pre-test before writing. So this book, I started writing it early in the morning. I got the idea about writing this the day before. Let's see, I'm going to go back here so you can still see me. I got the idea about writing this the day before. So I wrote this book, and by noontime, I was already making sales before it was even finished. I finished writing it about 11 o'clock at night. And not only did I write the book, I wrote it, I published it, I sold it, but we even published the names. It was like 23 or 24 copies we sold by midnight. I even published the names of the people who bought the book in the back of the book as I guess to thank them. But it was a pretty interesting book, and it was, I believe that was one of the things where I just did a brain dump and everything I could think about how to do this, and then just filled it out. But I had the whole book written and sold. Now, like I said, I had like people buying it by noontime, so I already knew it was in a sell. So it gave me motivation to continue. But what if I had tried selling it and nobody bought one? Then I probably wouldn't have completed the book, because you don't want to write a book if it's not going to be successful. So there you have it, 3+ ways of writing a book. I hope that was helpful to you. We do have a course if you want to learn more. And if you want to learn more about being a hypnotherapist, be sure to look at the links below this video. Option 1, 2, and 3. By the way, option 1 is our free clinical hypnosis manual. You can download that. Option 2 and 3 are some great courses we have. Live course on Zoom and our home study course for becoming a certified hypnotherapist. Hope you enjoyed this. Please share it with your friends. Give us a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye now.